heading into the town of Cripple Creek. We're going to see if we can ride the train that's in this town. It's a 45-minute ride, first come, first serve, and it's 4 miles.
And a funny fact about Cripple Creek, if you see a donkey in the road, you cannot blow the horn on it, you can't push up close to him so he moves out the way. The donkeys have the right of way. If a cop sees you doing it, they will give you a large fine.
Right onto
Train town. Got our tickets for the 12:20 train. Well, a little less than an hour till our train ride, so we're gonna come check out the 1894 gift shop. We got our tickets. Ticket prices, it's $19 for an adult, $17 for seniors, $14 for children, ages 3 to 12.
Here's Raymond.
Souvenirs.
Inches 3 and 4.
They're probably out on the road.
Unless that's one there that's covered up.
Here comes the train that we're going to be getting on.
That was really fun. I enjoyed it. Oh yeah, very good, very educational.
Be on engine number 3.
Which was built in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 1927.
Little steam train. Just put the coal in the hopper right there. Getting ready.
Josh is our senior engineer. He'll also be joining us today for the ride in the cab. That young man is coming around collecting tickets right now. He's our conductor. His name is Sam. We're taking engine number 3. It's a Porter-built 1927 locomotive. We'll be following along a 2-foot narrow gauge rail track that follows the Midland Terminal Railway right-of-way. The Midland Terminal Railroad ran from 1894 to 1914. And if you look behind and to the right of the train, that building there is the original Midland Terminal Depot. It was built in Anaconda, Colorado in 1894. It was moved to Bull Hill in 1912, and then it was moved once again to where it sits today in 1968, and serves as our gift shop and ticket. Down to the right side of the locomotive, there's a train car down there. It's yellow, it's green and black. That's a standard gauge passenger car. It's on display at the District Museum. Few rules before we get rolling out today. If you could please remain seated when the train is in motion. There'll be a couple stops at the top where you'll be able to stand up and take better pictures and move about. But when it's in motion, you'll want to be seated. Keep your arms and legs and hands and everything inside the train car at all times. If you have any personal belongings like hats or whatever, sometimes wind picks up and you lose your hat or whatever. You want to hold on tight to those because if they do leave the train, we will not be able to stop to retrieve those items. And then lastly, no smoking on our train today. We leave that up to the locomotive. Okay, within about 3 minutes we're going to get clearance and we'll be on our way.
Here we go.
Folks, if you look to the right side of the locomotive, that 2-story brick building, that was the original Midland Terminal Railroad Depot. It was built in 1895. Upstairs was the station master's living quarters. And down below was the ticketing office. It serves as our district museum in here at Cripple Creek now. There's a lot of real interesting exhibits and things to read about the gold mining industry for this area. It is recommended to stop in and see that. Over to the right of the locomotive at the moment, we're here. That's the coal sorting house for the Midland Terminal Railroad. There's also some mining hardware. We'll be talking to you more when we get up to the top of the grade. across, that is the Yellowbird Mine. And on the left side of the train, just across from it, is the Redbird Mine. If you look at the wooden structure in the center of that ridge there, that was the blacksmith shop for the town of Anaconda. Directly above that, that building that looks like it's falling down, that is the Conundrum Mine. And if you look directly to the right of that, there's those two cylinders on that one building up ahead. That is the Moon Anchor 1 and 2 mine. Coming up on the left of the train now, there's another mine. It's a wooden chute there. That's the E-Quarter King mine. Back in when it was in production, it yielded about $500,000 in gold. So they call it the Fat Chance Mine, much to the owner's dismay. Coming up on the left, there's another mine. It's called the Pointer Mine. It's got the wooden chutes that are kind of sticking out of the ground here. When it was in production, it yielded about $3 million in gold. Keep in mind, back when it was in production, gold was only $20 an ounce. Today, $2,300 an ounce. Imagine how much money would be out of that mine today. Across the $1 million film. Years ago, there used to be a 400-foot trestle that went across this valley here. The elements destroyed it, so they replaced it with this low-grade gold ore. Built this area. The estimated value of this gold that you're traveling over is about $1 million. Before you jump off the train, start loading your pockets with these rocks. Remember, it takes 20 tons of this rock just to get 1 ounce of gold out. Sorry, folks, we ran out of coal. We'll have to walk back. Okay, so this area here is officially called Squaw Gulch. We like to call it Echo Valley, and I'm about to do the whistle, and you'll know why.
Wow. That's cool.
You want to hear it again?
Yeah.
So that never gets old. You can hear our whistle from about 10 miles away. Back in the day, miners would use whistles similar to what you just heard to signal breaks, shift changes, and emergencies and other communication. You look out here, that mountain range, all the way out there, that's the Sangre de Cristo Mountains. The Spanish explorers years ago came and named it that because in the evening when the sun is sinking low behind it, it kind of creates this red hue that's behind it. It's actually quite beautiful. Translated in English, Sangre de Cristo is blood of Christ. Just to the right of the locomotive, you see that mound of dirt there, that's another mine, that's the El Paso mine. It's as steep as the Empire State Building is tall at 1,500 feet. It's got 30 miles of tunnel down below. And in the day, they yielded about $30 million in gold. They did have tours in 1975 into that mine, but there was a fire that broke out and they discontinued it altogether at that time. Just to the left of that, there's a wooden cribbing around that road there. That was where Mary McKinney mine was at, and then above that, Dr. Jackpot mine. And then if you look all the way to the left there, you'll see that building that looks like it's going to slide down off the mountain. That is the Chicken Hawk 1 and 2 mine. It was the hottest mine in the district. It ran a temperature about 130 degrees down below. And because it was running so hot, due to seismic activity and the heat of the earth, they decided to do a ventilation tunnel. That ventilation tunnel is directly below it, and to the left of that telephone pole up there. Trains would come through here. Hobos would hop on the train. They'd ride the train up here in the winter time, and then they'd jump off right when they got to that tunnel. They learned that that tunnel stayed at balmy 80 degrees year-round, and in the wintertime it was actually kind of a nice little place for them to hang out. So they called that Hobo Tunnel. Down in the valley directly below us, there were two towns. There was a town of Barry and another one called Mound City. Barry was a town that was known as a cultural town. There were artists, musicians, actresses, actors, and if you wanted to see a show or you wanted some entertainment, Barry would be the place to go. In between those two towns, there were two gold processing mills. There was the Brody and there was the Rosebud. The Brody caught fire in 1904 and destroyed this valley. That fire roared all the way up here to the town of Anaconda. It destroyed a lot of it. People in Cripple Creek was saying that they could even hear it. It was that loud. There were two buildings that survived that fire. That station that you bought your ticket at, and also that blacksmith shop that I pointed out earlier. So I think I'm going to go ahead and move to our second stop now. It will be going to World's Fair, and there I'll tell you a little bit more about the active gold mine that we have in the district.
back down.
Okay, welcome to your second stop. This is World's Fair. I told you I was going to tell you a little bit about the current and active gold mine that we have here in the district. If you look out to the right side of the locomotive, the train here, that big mountain over there, that's a man-made mountain. It's a Cripple Creek and Victor gold mine. It's the largest open pit mine in the district, or actually in North America. One of Teller County's largest employers. You had 800 people that work there. And if you want a closer look at that mine, there's a place on the east side of Cripple Creek where you can go walk up to a lookout and look down inside the mine and see the operations that is going on there. They pulled 250,000 ounces of gold out of there or yearly. You ever wondered how they got the gold out of the ore? I'll kind of briefly tell you. What they do is they blast the rock. Every once in a while, early in the morning, we'll hear a big blast here in Cripple Creek. And that's the mine blasting the rock. And then they crush up the rock and they mix it with lime. And they haul it over to where you see these layers, and they dump it over, and they do an irrigation channel, and they flood that channel with a cyanide and water solution. That solution separates the minerals in the rock, and it does free the gold for harvesting. Not sure if I told you, but they do 250,000 ounces of gold out every year. I guess I did tell you that. Back behind here in the valley, there's a road. It's not for the faint of heart, but it goes from Cripple Creek down to Canyon City. It's called Shelf Road. It's a single lane, both direction road, and it's called Shelf Road for a reason, because it looks like you're driving on a shelf. It's not for the faint of heart, but if you're adventurous, it's got some pretty awesome views to see through there. So this is World's Fair Mine, directly below you. If you look off to the left of the locomotive, you'll see a cement pad. That cement pad is covering the World's Fair Mine. You'll see it as we pull out. Some people say that the mine is about a story deep. Some people say that it's 2 stories deep, but that's another story.
mine's right there.
Now if you look to the right of the locomotive and the train, you'll see a big hole in the mountain. That mountain hole is called a stope. A miner would follow a vein of gold into the mountainside. They'd blast the ore above their head, they'd pull out the ore, and they'd send it up for processing. The largest stope we have in the district is in the Crescent mine. It's 1,000 feet long and 500 feet high. If you look out to the left side of the locomotive at the moment, you'll see those mounds of dirt. Those mounds are actually holes. We call them prospector holes. If you were a prospector back in the day and you were looking for gold, you'd come to a spot like that, take your hat off your head, throw it up in the air, and wherever your hat landed, you'd start digging. You'd have that hole tested for gold. No gold was found in that hole, you do it again, and you keep doing it until you find something. There are 5,000 of the prospector holes in our district.
How far down would you have to go there?
Not very far. The question was, how far did you have to go down? A lot of these holes are real small. In fact, if they're too small, they call them glory holes. Another interesting fact, directly below us, there are 3,000 miles of tunnel. If you were a miner and you could walk from Victor to Cripple Creek and back to Victor underground and never stick walk above ground. Back during the gold rush, Cripple Creek had a population of 20,000. There's about only 1,500 people living year-round today. You wonder where all the homes were or are. Housed 20,000 people. Well, World War I happened and men went off to war. Women moved away, and there's a housing bust through Cripple Creek. People from old Colorado City could come up here, buy a house for $150, take it apart, take it down the mountain, and build it down there. That's where all the homes went. You look off to the left side of the locomotive, and you look up on that hillside there, that mountain, that's Mount Pisgah. At the base of Mount Pisgah, there's a cemetery. It's Mount Pisgah Cemetery. There's a famous person by the name of Susan E. Anderson that's buried there. She was a famous doctor in the district. She was known for being able to reattach severed arms from the miners that used to work in the mine, accidents on the railroad, such. was a television show based on her life. Dr. Quinn. Yeah, it's Dr. Quinn Medicine Moment. Point out a couple of points of interest as we're coming into the Cripple Creek. The building ahead of the engine that has the green roof, that's the Cripple Creek Catholic Church. Just to the left of that building, there's a building with a cross on it. That was the St. Nicholas Hospital that at one time had about 30 doctors working out of it. This is our third and final stop, folks. Rolling. There you go. Okay, so if you look off to the left side of the locomotive down in that street there, that's Myers Avenue. Back in the gold days and Cripple Creek's heyday, when there was 20,000 people here, that used to be the red light district for the area. It was crazy and it was wild, wild west and it was all that stuff. It had 70 saloons and 35 parlor houses. The most famous parlor house is that white one that you see down there. That's the old Homestead parlor house. It was run by a madam by the name of Pearl DeVere. Pearl DeVere was real strict on her clientele, and she ran inspections on folks' bank accounts before they could check in. If the bank account didn't check out, they couldn't check in. Today it's just a museum. Unfortunately, she died at 30 from a morphine overdose. She was trying to self-medicate for a cold. And it was then her parents found out that she's not the seamstress that she said she was. And so they disowned her, and they said that they would not pay for her funeral. Well, the good old Elks Club, they stepped up and they said, we're going to hire a 10-man marching band, and we're going to march Pearl DeVere down the street up to Mount Pisgah to her resting place. Along the way, they played It's Going to Be a Hot Time in the Old Town Tonight. There were 5,000 people that came and paid their respects to Pearl. Everyone liked Pearl. She was very good to the community, and she gave back, so she was very well known. In 1896, there were 2 fires here in Cripple Creek, burned down the town. The first one was a barmaid and a boyfriend got in an argument, and a kerosene lamp got kicked over and burned down half the town. Unfortunately, 3 days later, there was a grease fire in the Portland Hotel, and that burned down the rest of the town. Back then, everything was made of wood, even the sidewalks. Everything was combustible. So, city ordinance said, from this day forward, all buildings will be constructed with brick. And that's why you see so many brick buildings in Cripple Creek today. stamped 1896 or later. One of the buildings that did survive that fire is the building directly to the left of the locomotive. That's red and white building. That's the Cripple Creek Trading and Transfer building, and it did survive that fire. There was a man by the name of Bob Womack that came back up here in 1890 looking for gold. Bob Womack found his gold up here on this gulch here, about a half mile up. This is Poverty Gulch. He named his gold find the El Paso Lode. He went out and celebrated the El Paso Lode, and probably celebrated a little bit too much. He told everybody there's gold up there at Cripple Creek. And he woke up 3 days later and he found he had sold his find for $500 and 2 cases of whiskey. Well, the buyer that bought that, they were pretty happy about that. They renamed that whole gold find to the Gold King Mine, and it pulled an estimated $3 million out of it. So poor Bob Womack, he died penniless in 1909, but he was kind of known for kicking off the gold rush in Cripple Creek, mostly because he did spread the word that there's gold up here in this there hill. Okay, so if you look at the front of the locomotive and up the hill, you'll see a log cabin. It's quite a ways up. It's not the first one that you see that's kind of like a run-down one. It's more of a log cabin with the roof that's kind of broken down. That was Bob Womack's original log cabin, one of the first log cabins built in this area. I want to thank you all for coming and riding with us today. I hope you enjoyed the trip as much as Josh and I do. If you have any questions at all or something that you thought about along the way, or anything at all, we're happy to try to answer those for you. When we get back to the station, I'll give you one short whistle, and it'll be your indication it's safe to get off the train. Thanks again, folks.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.